Yes, hello and
My
welcome
gosh.
to All In, week three of what is spring 2025. Lewis Willoughby, g'day.
Gents, how are we? Did we duck egg last week? Getting
Mm.
losses out of the way nice and early so we can try and bounce back. Did anyone tip Raging Force? Surely someone.
Yeah, I think
From
I
the
said
little,
that it will start favourite, maybe half tipped it, but
yeah.
please.
No,
Uh,
nothing.
Mm.
Okay, on we push.
mm.
And there's heaps of races to get stuck into. Only the one at the top level in Melbourne, but then Sydney host a group threes and twos, etc., that really kind of set up for group ones later in the spring. And the only 1,000 meter group one of the carnival there in Melbourne is this Moir Stakes around the valley, real horses for courses for distance kind of track. So it's going to be really interesting.
Dino, how's the weekend, mate? Broncos lucky. Managed to
Mm.
fall in and you make top four now, were you?
I think we're going to win this week. We make top four, but good afternoon to you boys. Yes, it was a somewhat bring back to earth type week racing wise on the week. I think we all got
Oh,
happy
hence why we're
about
just
a nice,
pivoting.
Mm.
yeah, and I'll bring it back. Don't stress. We've got to be accountable, but we'll be back. Interesting to see last ever Moir Stakes at the Valley, boys. Is
Mm.
it? Yeah, it should be. So interesting affair that race. I spent a
I
couple of
assume they
hours
bring
looking
it
at.
back once it's
When the
renovated,
Valley's
but just like at
made.
that
Yeah,
current
but
set. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, at that
which is a
track.
shame.
So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I think it's something we've got to somewhat enjoy this spring. I
Have you
know
got
it's a
another
track
minute in
that,
your hand there, Dino? The listeners might just want a bit of background of that. They've seen
Oh,
that pop up a
yeah.
few times.
Huh.
Didn't you just
Shit.
have a dislocated finger? Looks like you've broken your arm.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I've been
What's
telling everyone
doing?
it's a broken arm, broken. I don't know why they've put this whole thing on it, but yeah, it's a dislocated broken finger, but we've got the whole cast on. So they've been
Wow.
telling people it's a broken hand. So
Yeah.
yeah, great three carry on, but we're here, boys. Footy's done finally, thank God.
Oh,
On to racing now, but keen to rip in this week. I think the Moir Stakes is a classic. The one that I'm keen to touch on is the Concorde, Lady Shenandoah.
can't wait.
Um, yeah, a lot to talk on there. So
Quick
I'm not keen to
review.
rip in, boys.
Quick review, lads. Let's just touch on it. Treasure of the moment. Like awesome. Put up a huge figure.
Mm.
So like, good to the eye, rated well. Question though, she had PR, right? Do you think, and a lot of those horses like that were beaten margins, it just didn't work out for any of them. Like Antino was just like in the wrong place, right time. Fangirl was just looked like Dino
Didn't handle
in the
Caulfield.
hospital, just in a bit of strife, a bit wobbly, a bit going on. Um, do you think that the margins and Mr. Brightside was like had a really tough run? Do you think the margins obviously built into that? The times were exceptional, but the margins obviously increased that rating a little bit. Do you think she runs to that next time, or do you think she comes back a little bit? Do you think that she's just maybe an exceptional racehorse that's just gone to a new level? Like, what do you do with that 105 figure that's been thrown out this morning?
Luke.
Was going to say it's probably a mix of all three of that, right? Like I
Mm.
think she's obviously gone to a new level. She did have the perfect run, and there were some excuses for others. I don't want to say that there was a heap of excuses for others. Like you mentioned, Fangirl Caulfield and Dan O came out and said that obviously a fast run race is not to her liking because it takes away her sectional ability. I thought Another Will was really plain.
Hmm.
I thought Mr. Brightside, albeit a tough run, ran probably as well as he's going, to be honest.
Okay.
Um, and then Antino, yeah, that was probably always needs to run first up again, as Dan O'Sullivan mentioned. I don't want to take credit for any of his stuff, but um, the thing that is the possibility next start is the price is where it becomes interesting. What price does she get sent around? Because I've always been of the belief that those horses who are best over 2,000 or longer can have a first up dynamite run and then just plateau or come back a bit off that second up and then maybe get back there third up again. So yeah, price dependent. You could maybe take her on, and you're right, Gano. She had the PR of PRs,
Hmm.
but in after saying all of that, she has clearly come back,
She's good.
an
Mm.
absolute freak. So yeah, it's gonna be a tricky one, Dino.
At least she
Yeah,
didn't sit on
Trish
the
probably.
fence. Oh,
Mm,
It's
can't wait.
good. I think the truth's probably in the middle of it all. I think at Other Will, Jamie's post race comment, she said he needed the run and she knew that pre race, but he was gone on the 800, so maybe he needed that run and another run. Fangirl, I don't think Caulfield's their setup. She needs that setup where she balances up like a Flemington or a Randwick setup.
Mm,
So
mm.
I think she's one that I'd be backing next start. She's probably going to get a good price about her, I hope.
and probably needs it 10
And
lengths
then
slower as well.
Mm.
yeah. I just think the nature of the way Caulfield's, the sort of the shape of it. I don't know if you're ever going to get that sort of setup in a Group One. You might, but You also get that at sort of a Randwick or a Flemington setup where they sit up and then you can power home. But I took her on. I thought she was the lay of the day back on the inside. Thought the trial was overrated. Maybe we've underestimated her off a wet autumn as well. Her last couple of starts were on wet tracks and she got the job done. Maybe she was just doing that over the longer trips because of her class and she's a better sort of 14, 16, 2,000 metre horse. So exciting. We need one of these 4-year-olds to step up and we've got a stack of mares. They're doing it. So not exciting nonetheless, but I think there's a couple of good betting opportunities, especially Fangirl moving forward, Gunnar.
What do you do with the San Domenico lads? Obviously, Raging Force. We won't get into the incident that necessarily happened there with Raging Force sort of rolling back into the inside. But what do you do with the race in general, Dino?
Yeah, I'm somewhat concerned about these Colts and Geldings. This was obviously Raging Force is coming off the back end of a sort of 2-year-old campaign. Didn't go through the features, but Rubenello was playing. King of Pop was playing. We've seen even a week ago some of these sort of Colts and Geldings haven't quite come back. I think you want to take Woden out of the race wherever he goes. He's come back terrific. I know they didn't protest, but stewards somewhat did it themselves through the stewards report and suggested they wouldn't have overturned it regardless. But he,
Just
I
the way
think, he
the
run that
rule
race.
considering the margin of defeat, you can't. What are you going to do?
I think that's what they knew, and James knew. Like, there's no real point throwing one in, but he's come back terrific. I think that's what left me with question marks out of it. Like, Raging Force is good, but you look at the sectionals, Gano, he controlled it early, built from the 800 metres. He had the absolute PR. The inside 1 to 5 lanes are where you wanted to be. So how does he improve off that? He's got residual fitness. He had a trial under his belt. Unless there was sort of a piece of work missed with the wet weather, I don't see how he gets heaps better. He's probably a poor choice of words, but yeah.
He sort of rolled in a little bit to the inside. Does that, to you, signal a horse that might be his limit? Maybe 1,200 metres might be it. Like, they're talking Golden Rose, but gee whiz, I wouldn't be overly confident of the horse getting beyond 1,200 from what I was seeing.
Yeah, that's possible, and you got to remember that he's Raging Force. I'm just having a look here. He was kind of up and going. Had that 6-week break, but that's not as long as others. So he'd been racing well throughout the winter, and that's a lot of fitness on his side, etc. If you then start to get the wobbles or somewhat at the end of 1,100, yeah, definite concern. I think Bivoct,
Huge.
I wouldn't be jumping off. It was really good. And I think it's clearly racing like it's wanting a little more distance. Gee, I haven't read a stewards report or anything, but King of Pop was really disappointing. That was the one I was on. No good. Devil Knight was a little bit of a question mark. Obviously, what a Blue Diamond at start 3 or whatever it was, like, or 2
Maybe
or what, something like
start,
just, yeah. And I was kind of interested to see how it would return, looking for a bit more trip. I'd have to watch that race again. And then obviously the other one, the up and coming, again, you'd have to have a look at all the interference there and figure if anywhere unlucky. Yeah.
Providence is the one from the up and coming that's a massive asterisk. Like, you just wait and see.
I've got to be honest, I was watching the coverage and they went through some previous winners of both of those races, the up and coming and the San Domenico. And I got to tell you, with the honour roll that those races have, this year's edition was
Autumn Glow.
It was ordinary both. Like, there's no, at least I don't think in those races there's no real, like, stars of the turf moving forward as 3-year-olds. So anyway, see how they go. Maybe
we forgot. I probably did myself, that I know we were echoing that sort of sentiment in the autumn too with these 2-year-olds. They were an even bunch. So they were going to be terrific, and then they all plateaued out. And sort of looking at the market for the Golden Rose, nepotism's the favourite. Autumn Boy, Woden, Rivanello, Beedman, Skyhawk, Binrock, Raging Forces there. Like, outside of that, I'm not seeing anything coming from out wide. So maybe we're just re-establishing what we figured out in the autumn, boys. We're not really seeing much come from out wide, Gunnar.
Yeah, I thought you could mark up Baywalk for sure. I thought he's come back and 3 wide. The wind was probably wreaking a bit of havoc out there. What lanes 1 and 2 were the place to be. It was 3 wide. And then add further merit, 3 wide, 1,100 metres Rose Hill, which is just scary. Even without any race shape or any wind or any other factors. So it's a scary thing anyway. So look, you'd expect the horse probably run a little bit flat next time, just off that. You could expect a big third up run out of Baywalk. So pencil that.
$21 Golden Rose.
What's the price?
$21 Golden Rose versus
worth it.
$9 Rivanello and $12 Raging.
$9. Well, you could swap those around.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's exactly right. So that I think that's a market we can chip away. I know the Phillies don't
Mm.
have the best record on that, but that's something that I really want to. I haven't had time today to do, but it's a market that I think we
Devil
can pick
Knight,
the eyes out.
fastest last 100 of the race, sort
Yeah.
of, and was on the back of the wrong horse, King of Pop.
Yep.
So
One trial in as well. I think that
I would,
they're looking further down the track with him for sure.
yeah, I would be penciling him to be very, very competitive in a Golden Rose, and obviously Wadton. Who
Yeah.
knows? I think he probably gets within 0.1, 0.2, call it. And
Yeah,
you can
easily.
mark him. You can mark him up to right where what the winner did in Raging Force. So they're
Mm.
probably the three that I'll take out of the race, and then you're probably willing to take on Raging Force at a trip beyond 1,200 meters. So whatever, a post run
Yep.
at the Rose. Anyway, let's look forward. That's a bit of a review. Hopefully, the punters found something there that can make some money out of. Let's go. Why don't we kick off? What do you want to do, lads? We'll kick off with the Moir, we may as well, right? It's probably the appropriate thing to do. Neance $4, Barrakill 4.50, Alabama Last $6, Skybird 8, Isha 11, Rothfire 11, Arabian Summer 15, Golden Boom, Jetabil La Dorada 15, and Oak Hill also 15, Louis.
Tricky race, as I mentioned off the top. 1,000 meter valley, Group One is just like, you know, so tricky to figure out sometimes. And I look at all these horses at the top. So Neon's going to be about 13 weeks off the scenes, got the really attractable racing pattern up on speed. But the best of Neon's, I think, is 11 to 1,200 meters and not 1,000. Maybe that can be negated by the fact it'll be up there on speed, not giving too far away. I wanted to try and find something at a better price. I started looking at Barrakill. It ran a pretty similar rating to Neon's last time out. It's undefeated second up, but again, just these peaks are all over 1,200 meters. The interesting one I thought was Alabama Last, the Kiwi, who rated really well winning a listed race back in the autumn. It's going to be first up. It's had a trial in New Zealand, which it won on a heavy 10, but it beat Stayers. Is it another one who tries to go straight to the front and see if it can get them over 1,000 meters? And it's probably going to get, it is going to get Craig Williams. So I thought maybe it. But then the one that I want to back in this market now, I just tried to find the 1,000 meter valley horse, and I think that's Oak Hill, who go back two starts, was first up and belted them really nicely. I think the latest run in that race that Barrack Hill, I think, was the winner, and that's a few of the form lines that they're coming through. It was favourite, Oak Hill. It was really agitated behind the gates. It over raced throughout and just kind of was like a forget. As I mentioned, it's got that SP profile against the form lines that they're clearly looking towards. It's a multiple Moonee Valley winner. It's a 1,000 meter specialist. So Oak Hill is the one that I'm liking that we're getting a big price about because of the last start disappointment. And I think if it just bounces back third up, which it has done in the past, I went and had a look. It's got that good first up rating, flat second up, back third up is good. So at the price, Dino, I was pretty happy to be with Oak Hill. Just thinking that if this race was over 1,200 meters, 100% you'd step into Neons, Barrack Hill, and a few others. But yeah, Oak Hill for me.
Yeah, these 1,000 meter group ones or group races are always so fickle. Rule of thumb, you always sort of stick to those horses that are 1,000 meter gallopers just to the way the races run. I know they can be strong late, but somewhat the race is over by the time they sort of wind up. It's hard to try me anything top of the market just purely the fact that barriers. Like this is the track that you draw a
Mm.
bad barrier and it's game over. The interesting one I saw down was Maharuna had Break Knox booked. And another one that's non for it, but obviously non for the Concorde, which we'll touch on in a second, is Jetabil. I thought Jetabil was somewhat underrated in this market, $15 and 460. Won a Group 2, I think it was up here in Sydney, the Chelmsford Stakes in the autumn. Out and out 1,000 meter gallop, I think that horse, and has probably the right
Mm.
profile where it can muster speed sitting behind him and go bang over the top of a hot speed. Doesn't have to get all the way out the back.
Yeah.
Do we want to bet now? Futures probably not. I want to see a gate and I want to make sure it's in the field. So really, really, really tricky race. Gano, no firm opinion, but excited to see Jetabil and Maharuna go down
I'm
there.
never going to get the 30 minutes back that I spent on this race.
Yeah, Mahuna didn't end up nominating. I don't think it's not even in that tab market.
Didn't?
No.
Nah, not even
Yeah,
in the
okay.
market.
And
Interesting.
Jetabil, I'm with you, Dan. A good first up horse. You know what the funny thing was, Gano, as you are probably going to allude to, spending the 30 minutes on the race, that Mahuna in the prenoms market was like really well backed. And so then I started looking at it and thinking, oh yeah, possibly, and then it doesn't even show up in the noms. So, who knows?
Scary
Choice.
stuff. Scary stuff. when
It is. That's a
I'm
good way
trying
to
to,
describe
I'm
the race.
here and I'm about to tip Jetabil in a Group 1 Moir
Mm.
Stakes. I can't even do it. I'm not going to bring myself to do it.
Mm.
I, I don't know. We've gone from one of the strongest Memsies I've ever seen to.
Mm.
Is this a weak version of a Moya?
It's an up and coming
So
Moya, I'd suggest.
Like
There's
the
no
yeah,
established
Mornington
Group One
Glory
star,
last
is
year,
there?
maybe, but Imperatrice cool and
Imperatrice,
Gata
Coolangatta,
Wild
Wild
Ruler,
Ruler,
Nature Strip,
Hippie,
Buffering's just like
Medora.
what's going on
Mm.
here?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
I think that's
We're
a
on
lot of
Apache
our
Cat.
sprinting ranks, though.
Mm.
Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
look, it is what it is, isn't it? But yeah, I can't bring myself to even give a tip in this race. But I'll be cheering the Sydney horse in
The other
Jetta.
one just quickly was Escher,
Yeah.
who
Yeah,
I think it's going to come around too quick, and it's not a guarantee to make the field. But as you've all mentioned, in a pretty weak, no superstar edition, again, it's a 1,000 meter Moonee Valley kind of horse, so it would not. If it made a field and drew a barrier, I could certainly come into it, but it's no guarantee to make the field, so I can't tip it to you currently. Like I don't even know what you're getting $11 about a horse who couldn't, who genuinely may not be there.
What about a
yeah.
Rothfire? He's run second
Oh,
to Sunshine in Paris as a heavy
yeah,
track.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm just clutching at straws.
yeah.
It's hard. It's always hard with those Queensland horses. I
Hmm.
just find it tricky to back them in Melbourne a lot of the time.
Hmm.
Skybird's a
And
really
this,
interesting one. Was that
Yes.
Lightning win a fluke over 1,000? Its trials or jump outs, whatever, have been really good. It was racing over a mile before that Group 1 at 1,000. Like who?
mm,
That's a really tricky one to kind of assess.
Yeah. All
we're going
right.
to spend another half an hour on it.
Let's move
Yeah.
on. Let's move on to the Furious Stakes. And well, this is not a bad little race here. Apocalyptic 350 within the law 350. Savvy Halley $6. Memo $8. Argerwood. Didn't see anything come out of the stewards report for that horse and subsequent follow up, so I haven't heard anything. $11 Acacia next gen stardom to good luck to Picara. How do you pronounce that?
to, to
Tupacara.
Bakara.
Picara.
Yeah,
Dead
you're
set.
normally good like that, Gano.
I
Yeah,
know,
come on,
but
man.
sometimes when
If
they
I'm
get
correcting
you,
you,
yeah, sometimes they
yes.
get you and they get you good. And I stared at it for too long. I'm battling. Karinska.
Gentilissimi, eh?
Karinska 26s, Angel Ladder 34s. List goes on and on. I think a Jenga probably mentioned it, $34. Anything else is probably well and truly out of the race. Dino Furious Stakes.
Yep. No, you have a history profile, Lou, on this? What do you want to punch on?
No, 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 go on.
So obviously, Wyndham Law second up. I thought it was absolutely outstanding first up. Wet deck, one trial leading into that. Obviously heads the market. Apocalyptic. Interesting to hear Tommy Berry suggested this is the horse he's most excited for the spring. Savvy Haley obviously won first up. Goes wet. Looking at the weather this week, it's going to be a dry Sydney. Rails out 4 meters. Argerwood boys. I chased that stewards report up. There was something in on Saturday that said stable was happy with the post-race condition of the horse and they'll push on with the campaign. So what do you do there? Any
Gives
other
me
stable would
Enrica
probably put a line
vibes.
through it.
Mm.
Yeah. Any other stable, you'd probably put a line through it. But Waterhouse and Bott, they're a stable that can get a horse to do that off a flat run like that, find an issue and fix it and get back. Acacia and Next Gen trolled up superbly. I think they're a couple we can play maybe at prices. But the one that I wanted to be with was Apocalyptic. Should have probably beat Mimo and Gallinero on debut. Hasn't been seen since then. So probably open to the most improvement. Yes, the market's found it pretty well, but I think this is a really, really exciting horse, Lou. Apocalyptic. I'm happy to take the gamble around that $4 price. Within the law, obviously hard enough to beat, but I think you'll get that price Saturday.
Can't argue with it, Dean. I'm just gonna have to take Agar Wood at $11. As you mentioned, the supplementary stewards
Mm,
report said nothing. I just think it's silly that we were so keen on it at a
mm,
worse price. It was a
yeah.
heavy 10, it's failed, and now it goes around 11 and we're going to pen it. I just think, like I was thinking this is a golden rose chance off the trials and off of what it could do this preparation as a late season 2-year-old into 3-year-old. I just think it's silly if we jump off. So in a tricky race, and it's half the reason I'm tipping it up is because I couldn't like really dive into anything with huge confidence. So I just thought, well, just give it. It's failed the once. It was a heavy 10. Maybe with its racing pattern up on speed, setting high sectionals, it needs this dry track. And at a double figure price, I think we have to stick on.
Tupacara, just have to say it, get it off my chest. We're back. Um,
Oh, I thought you were tipping it then. I'm
no,
going, lost the plot completely.
Apocalyptic, I'm happy to take on just purely 1200 meters first up, but complete
Mm.
respect for the horse. It was one time slipper favorite, wasn't it? So yeah,
Don't get too
sweet.
excited. Shaggy was one-time slipper favorite, mate.
Mm. So was
Yeah,
That's not
West
a
of
great.
Swindon.
It's not a great
Who got-
stat.
West of Swindon.
Maybe that's a hindrance, to be honest.
Barrier 17 comes into 12 at Kembla Grange on Saturday. $2.10
Mm.
out to $2, I don't know, maybe 70 or 80. And look, I thought the run was
Bizarre.
okay, but
Mm.
shadow of his former self. But you never
Mm.
know with Kieran. You might just be able to get him back to his best later on in the preparation. Um, Tough race. I actually like your play here, Lou. It makes sense, right? They couldn't find it wrong. Maybe he just hates a heavy track and it SP'd strong and the support was there and
Yeah,
the word out of the stable was the horse was flying. So
yeah,
I
and they
like to
push on.
push
So I
push
just
Mm.
on.
think,
I
yeah,
think have a look for gear changes. It dropped out like it got a
yeah,
tongue over the bit or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised to see if a tongue tie goes on. I'll be jumping on the bandwagon and chiming in again because I was waiting to see like I don't know cardiac arrhythmia or something. The
something.
way it dropped
Yeah,
out,
yeah,
its
yeah.
action looked fine. It just looked like it dead set blew up. So
Mm,
maybe
mm.
that's something we look for, boys.
Look, Kajanga is a horse with a bit of ability. She finished third to Autumn Boy in the Tat Stakes or something up there in Queensland. And we're getting $34, $7.60. So you could have a place bet on Kajanga.
All right.
But I love Louis' play.
Okay.
Lovely.
I think it's good. But
So
Kajanga
Argerwood for
plus
you too, Kajanga for you, Gunner, and I'm with Apocalyptic.
your D.
Yep.
Concorde Stakes, Lady Shenandoah 230, Jimmy Star 350, Generosity $6, Headwall the same, Jetta Bill 9s, In Flight 13s, Dragonstone 17s, $26. The rest or longer, Dino.
Lou, any historic background here?
No, I've only got it for group ones, unfortunately. If I
Beautiful.
find I could do some group twos in future, but I'd have to find a spare couple of hours. Busy
Up to you,
man,
boys. Um, it's a fascinating race. So, obviously, an article put out about Lady Shenandoah who heads the market at a short price, and Wallace suggested she's going to be kept to the shorter sprint trips, depending what she does here in the Concorde Stakes. Don't know if I like that as a punter looking at it. He suggested that his stakes and his stock, for these 2,000 meter races are full. Therefore, he's got to turn somewhat one of these into a sprinter. So,
Mm.
looking back at an Autumn campaign, this gives somewhat of the vibes of a Jolly Star. Is she that versatile at that price? She can be the best horse in the race, and it's not a vintage edition of the Concorde, so she can come out and win, but leave me out of that price. Jimmy Star, his preparation to an Everest, he's already got a slot. He goes Concorde into either a Premier or is it a Shorts, and then into the
Mm.
Everest. So I doubt he's going to be wound up for this race. And typical of that stable, they're generally not wound up first up. Generosity, obviously, WA horse joins Chris Waller, ran third in a quokka behind Headwall. And obviously ran in a Goodwood as well, only beaten a small margin there. Headwall, he's the out and out 1,000 meter horse, 7 wins from 11 starts. Jettabill's a 1,000 meter horse too. So they're the two that I'm looking at. Headwell and Jettabill, I'd happy to have a stake on both those at the price. I think Headwell probably more heavier. He's just an out and out 1,000 meter galloper. Yes, he extends to 12, but we look at a 1,000 meter race for 1,000 meter horses. I think he's really well placed, and so Jettabill. So that's the way I looked at it, boys. Generosity is a fascinating one. I don't know if you've got a background on that horse, Lou, but has trialled up superbly in Sydney too.
Yeah, that is an absolute rinse and repeat. I was literally just going to say everything you said. I can't have Lady Shenandoah at the price or Jimmy Star for a 1,000 meter race. Generosity is really interesting. The trials have been good, but the WA form, it finished behind
Mm,
Headwall, as you mentioned, and they're equal prices. But the trials were real interesting. So if I'd respect any big market support for it. I'm with you. Bigger stake Headwall, say we're on Jettabill in case it's in Melbourne, but they are the two over 1,000 meters. Like you go back and watch that Oakley Plate that Jimmy Star won over 1,100. Headwall never ever got out. Don't know if it beats it.
mm.
Don't get me wrong, but like it was just such a tough watch if you back Headwall that day. I think 1,000 meters is good for it. It's got this good record here. It's got a good first up record as well. So yeah, I
Mm.
can't add much more. I'm seeing it very similar.
Ed Will's an absolute special.
Oh, I like this.
Mm.
So, one of the greatest days I've ever had on a racetrack. We were down there at the Gong Day. It was a good three, Kembla Grange, and you couldn't make up distance the entire day. And there's
Mm,
one horse that did. It was in the Warra. Little Blakey Spriggs out the back and wide. And I remember watching it thinking, this has got none from there. Like the way the track's playing,
yeah.
and it didn't lap them, but it won well. It beat a horse by the name of
Mm.
Dragonstone that turned out to go all right
Like,
across
mm,
the winter and keep producing. And then it's come out and run, as we touched on in the Oakley Plate, over 1100, run very, very well and luckless, and then goes to the Newmarket, is exceptional. So Jimmy Star, Jolie Star, um, then Briasa overpass form in the TJ over 1200. Two trials put has to put these away to get an Everest slot or run
Mm.
very, very
yeah.
well.
That's,
I think
I was
that's,
going to say, this is the big, like,
yep.
it has to come out and go well if they want an
Has to
Everest
go
slot,
well.
which is,
And
Mm,
that recent trial behind Mahuna.
mm,
yeah. And Jetabil's in that trial too. Made it look silly in that trial. I thought Jetabil was good,
mm,
but Headwell through the line was exceptional.
Yeah, it's just as easier all in
It's
play as
funny,
you
isn't it?
have.
Like you obviously got to put your horse on show to get the Everest slot, but
Mm.
it's like at what cost? You know what I mean? Like
mm,
how wound up do you have to have it to be to leave enough in the tank? It's a fickle sort of nature in that sense. But in saying that, he showed last prep he went from sort of handicap horse then to a weight for age horse. He did it all, and he had a long sustained prep and just kept running. So I just think the 1,000 meter record too, like 11 start for 7 wins. I doubt anything
mm.
else in the race has anything near that bar Jetabil.
Yeah, pretty impressive. So Headwell for me. We're gonna have a $10 staking plan this week just for the battlers as well, boys. So get ready for that. One other race left. We've got another race left, and we're done. The Chelmsford. Charwolf, $1.90.
Chelmsford.
Sir Delius, $5. Vauban the same. Arapaho, $6. Back to a dry track. Lindemann, 11s. Moira, 11s. Birdman, $17. And Land Legend, 26s, Louis.
Shelf into $1.90. Wow.
Wow.
I'm not going to be backing it at $1.90, although I hope it comes out second up and does what it was
230.
supposed to do
There you go,
first
boys.
up. Yeah, so they have stepped in, which is yeah. I mean, I can't take a dollar. I'm going to have a bet on Moira at $11
Mm-hmm.
and Land Legend at $26. So Moira
Yeah.
was, I thought, really good in that PB Lawrence. The Private Eye just absolutely walked them, gave Moira no real chance. It ran good sectionals off that slow speed. I think second up is 4 starts, 2 wins, 2 second placings. So yet to miss a top two at this stage. It gets a dry track and it's got a good chance now with a full preparation under its belt here in Australia into a preparation. It's got a chance to stand up here second up to a mile. So I like Moira and Land Legend. Back onto a dry track, was last in that spring preview, held up, rattled home once clear. I thought at $26 and over $5 a place, it's probably not a bad each way spec, Dino.
Yeah, fascinating race. Show run of the day. I thought out wide those lanes were cast. Obviously, he missed the kick. That's the only worry if it draws out, etc., etc. Can't take that price all in. Probably wins the race. Vauban's the interesting one. He won terrifically first start last prep. In his recent trial, he looked outstanding. It was at Hawkesbury. He's the one I could entertain a race that you look at the speed map. Jow Wolf maybe goes forward. Arapaho back to a dry. Lindemann goes forward. Full count Felicia potentially as well. But outside of that, it's not a whole lot of speed. So Vauban's going to put himself there, I suggest. I think you could do worse things than have a $5 bet on him. I think Sir Delirious is the one that's really short, Gunner.
Yeah, I think Charwolf wins, but Land Legends a horse you've got to have a bet on at that price. It was 34s a moment ago, now 26s and $5 a play. So I think 61 kilos out the back last heavy 1400 meters and they went slow. Ticks a lot of
Mm.
boxes for me moving forward because the horse that's been a perennial over racer, be like me lobbing on the first day of a golf trip, he just struggles to calm down, and he's doing that. He was really really good. Now gets, and that was from a wide barrier as well, so it had to be taken back from a wide barrier. I thought it was a good, really good run. I think he'll go very close to being a Melbourne Cup, and I think he'll be able to take care of a few of these this time around. So I'll put him in my staking plan. I'll have $1 the win and $4 the place. Is half my money, and that is Land Legend. at 26s and $5.16, Lou. If you don't mind, don't forget that 16 cents when it comes down to the end of the sprint. We've got to add up our leaderboards there, and I'll have my other money, my other $5 on Headwall, the win. There you go.
Okay, good stuff.
Talk me through it. What do you got? Spend your $10, Lou. Can't put it on the choice.
Yeah, we're on the spot a little bit here.
Yeah,
prior to the
$10 working out.
Yeah, but I've only tipped 400.
You're Australia's number one racing broadcaster, mate. If you can't think on the hot, what hope do we have?
Lou, just throw it on Kimberly's Secret. I reckon double down 51.
I'll have. Jeez,
Dino, can you go, please?
Dino, you go. Yeah, because I'm keen on too many horses this week. Is the problem?
Well, I'm going to have five on the Furious Stakes, Apocalyptic, and 5 on Headwall in the Concorde Stakes. That's my $10 spent for Lou. I don't know if I got you much more time there.
All right, I'll go 250 each way Moira, 250 each way Agarwood, 250 each way Angel Capital in the Tramway Stakes. And that leaves me with...
That's 50.
No, yeah, I don't know. Can we make it for $20?
No, you can have $1.25 on those 3 each way, and then you've got $2.50 left, Luke.
Yeah, right. I chuck that on Oak Hill in the Moir.
$1.25 each way? Or $2.50 to win?
Just go the nose, why not?
So you got 3 each way plays and $2.50 to win. And something just makes me think if we made it $100, it would have been a whole lot easier for you, Lou. But $10
I don't know if there's going to be
completely thrown you. And the fact that I couldn't say to Cooper Cara, and I still can't, makes up for that you can't get your $10 staking plan right. So we're all good. And Dino, you've come through with absolute shining colours. You've dominated, except for the other mid on your hand. Well done.
Do you want me to insert the video? I'll get Luke to insert the video of me doing it.
Yeah, put the photo up, or just the photo of it was good.
Oh, the video.
Yeah, it'd be great. Everyone will be rapt to see that. Midweek plays, lads.
No.
Anything, or we chuck them up on the YouTube channel?
Can I go full post-race expert?
Yeah, go.
I forgot to put out on my one up last week.
No, it
was the Godolphin horse who won the last race at Sandown.
Tompkin.
That'll really keep the listeners happy that they listened for 30 odd minutes and went to the comments, and now you've told them that you tipped the winner.
That's my bad. So I will actually go this week.
Righto. On the YouTube, go down there, get involved. Also, let us know who wins we'll go to Chelmsford, I reckon. Better race. Let us know who wins at Chelmsford. Get part of the duck race, and away we go. Make sure you subscribe. We'll be back next week.
Did you have one, Dino?
He'll put it on the YouTube.
Yeah, I'll put it in the comments. It's all good.
Bye for now.